Hey everybody, my name's Alyssa Rowe. I'm here with Joe Padula. He is the promoter of the Bedford Speedway in Bedford, Pennsylvania. Thank you for doing this and taking the time out of your day. I guess I really want to talk to you about how you got into racing. You know, your family's been in it forever. They've been at different aspects. I think some drove maybe, some promoted, some owned. Do you want to talk about your history a little bit?
Well, sure. My father took over Bedford in 1988. And, you know, before that, he was involved in all sorts of things. He drove, he worked at other tracks, he pretty much did anything and everything. But he took over here in 1988, and I pretty much was a little kid then. And throughout my childhood, you know, spent my summers here doing pretty much anything that could be done. Probably wasn't a job that I didn't do at one time or another.
Right.
And you know, you couldn't beat that as far as being a kid playing in the mud the whole time.
Right.
So, you know, my father's involved, pretty much got me, the whole family involved, and it's always been that way. Just like you.
Yeah.
You grow up in it, you spend your whole life in it, and you know, there's you know, I love Bedford, and there's really no place better to be than being here, you know, where I spent pretty much my whole life.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely having a family in it and growing up around it, you kind of get it in your blood and you have to stay in it.
I don't know that you have to,
well,
but boy,
like
it's real hard maybe to go to do something else.
Yeah, it is.
And you know, not just you or me, but throughout the whole pit area, throughout the grandstands, are so many people who their parents, their grandparents, the whole way through have been racing.
Definitely.
And it's really cool that you know, all of our parents used to race with each other, and now we're all still kind of keeping it alive. It's a lot. It's really neat.
Yeah, that is cool. One thing I really wanted to point out was you went to college, and I'm at my career where I just got out of college, and now I'm looking, you know, in the job field, and I'm like, man, I really wish I could race and do something in the racing industry for a living. How did you go from college to working at a racetrack?
Well, when I went to Salisbury University in Maryland and graduated there in 2007, and while I was in college, you know, probably like most people, you're looking at all sorts of different things to get into. You know, probably everybody can relate to every day thinking, oh, we'll do this, the next day you want to do something different,
Yep.
And so I have a degree in history and business in English, which is kind of a wide covers a little bit of everything. Nowhere in there is a degree in racing. And probably through my whole college experience, the only thing I learned that benefits me now is a 100 level class I took in weather predicting.
Oh my word.
Fundamentals of Weather 101 or something. And actually, I use that class very frequently. But we, about the time, actually a year before I was due to graduate, was when we started getting involved up at Thunder Valley. That opportunity came open, and we started that, and you know, it just kind of steamrolled. I graduated college and got various jobs doing different things, and basically kind of woke up one day and was like, racing's a lot more fun than going to work every day at a real job. So we need to do whatever we can take to race. And, you know, been doing that ever since. You know, it's been 10, 12 years now.
Wow.
Can't believe I've been out of college that long. It makes you feel old. But college was great, racing was great, real job,
not so great.
Not so great. So there's life advice.
Yeah.
Don't get a real job. Just keep racing.
Yeah, good advice. I wish I could do that. So what do you think, the toughest part is of promoting a track and being so involved with the track?
Well, you know, racing in anything is tough. It's just tough. You know, as far as running a racetrack, there's a million things that go on, and you want every racer and every fan, everybody that comes through the gates, to have the best time, to have everything go perfect and leave happy. And obviously you're not going to do that.
Right.
So starting from the top, you know, you just want everything to go good. You want the weather to be perfect. You want the track surface to be perfect. You want, when everybody comes in, that they just have the best experience. And as far as what's to worry about or what's hard, everything is to worry about. You worry, is there toilet paper in the bathrooms?
Mm-hmm.
Is there enough hot dogs? Is the show going well? Do we have enough cars, or the just anything that's going on? Once you get everybody in, and assuming the show's going great, the whole way through, probably maybe not the biggest concern, but probably the most difficult to deal with is worrying about the weather.
Right.
No one's ever happy whenever you get weather involved. Is it going to rain? Is it going to not going to rain? You're married to the TV or to the weather.com or something, trying to figure out what to do. Sometimes you make the best decision, sometimes you make the wrong decision. Everybody lets you know how they feel about it either way. So it's just, you just worry. And hopefully the weather works out, the track looks great, the pits are full, if there's some way that you could have it be like 3 wide on the last lap for the win, then you're like, well, we did good. And short of that, then you're just hoping you can do better.
Right.
But it's like that for everybody in racing. I'm sure there's not a driver that doesn't come off the track and think, man, we should do better. We need to do better.
Right.
And that's just how it is. It's a lot of, as you know, it's a lot of fun racing, but boy, it can be tough.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But we have a lot of fun, and sometimes the weather works out for us. Sometimes everything works out, and we get a nice show in.
Right. So, what do you enjoy? What's your most enjoyable thing being around the track?
Well, the best part of anything of being in the track is to see a good show.
Right.
If we spend all week here doing things, and if at the end of all that, we can get to watch. We can sit down and watch good racing, a good show, everybody happy. Then it's just the best feeling in the world. And sometimes that happens, sometimes that doesn't happen for a variety of reasons. But it sure is fun when you get to sit and watch. The late models come off turn 4 and get to racing. It's just great.
Yeah.
And for all the bad days and sometimes you're wore out and tired, that makes everything, when you get to sit down and watch a good race, it makes everything work out and feel better.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure it's tough, and I couldn't be in your spot, that's for sure. I couldn't do it. I want to talk a little bit about social media. With all that being said, there's a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons to social media, especially with racetracks and criticism and things like that. What do you think, as a racing community, we need to fix or improve with social media and racetracks?
Well, social media is, it's wildly complex. It's a huge asset to everybody, racing, but just life in general. 15, 20 years ago, we never had any kind of tools like this to get the words out. If you wanted to promote something, you had, newspaper, you had radio, things like that, and you were probably walking around the parking lot at another race putting flyers under people's windshields.
Right.
It was so difficult to get the word out. And now, it's amazing. Anything we do, if we rain out, if we change something, no matter what's going on, instantly everybody knows.
Right.
And for us, we try and use that as much as we can in our advertising and whatnot, because for one, it's free, and two, it's easy, and it goes out. To so many people. If you aren't putting stuff out every single day, then you're not doing your job, because it's free advertising.
Right.
And so we try and keep our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff as active as we can,
right,
because we want people to know what's going on here. And obviously it's the best way to get in touch with your audience. And so it's got huge upside. Obviously, with all good things come bad things, and with social media, every man has a voice now.
Yeah.
In the old days, if you did something that people didn't like, about 6 days later would come a letter in the mail that somebody wrote down, and they put a stamp on it, and they drove to the post office, and a couple days later you'd come in the mail, and it usually wouldn't have a return address or anything on it, and they'd say all the things that you did wrong. Now, people have that right away. If they don't like something, or if they like something, they can let you know.
Right.
And, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes people say really nice things, really positive things, and that makes you feel good. Sometimes people say things that aren't positive, but they have a point, and it's good to know either we didn't know what was happening, or we could learn from it.
Right.
And, it's good to hear what other people or what the thoughts are out there. And sometimes people just say things that are mean, and that's just how that is. And I learned a long time ago, don't worry about the mean stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to learn, good and bad. And you can't go through life just listening to positivity, being surrounded by yes men or something. And if you're doing something and people are on Facebook or whatnot commenting about, this is all the stuff you're doing wrong, well, you need to read that and be like, well, and get the feedback.
Right.
So and it's not just in the racing world, it's in life in general. It's everything is a social media bound. And if we have a good night and it's nice to get on and read the comments, sometimes you don't read the comments. But we try and take advantage of it, because if you have a racetrack, if you have a race team, if you have anything and you're not hammering the publicity, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
But overall, it's nice that we live in a world where we have, with doing nothing but pulling your phone out of your pocket, the ability to communicate with thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Definitely.
20 years ago, 10 years ago, that was unheard of, and we have no right to complain about it, because that's
right.
It's just an incredible thing.
Yeah.
That being said, don't write anything mean about me on Facebook.
Okay, got it. We see a lot of tracks shutting down, struggling, working against each other. Why do you feel that it's important to keep all of our tracks in the area really running successful and working together?
Well, in order to have racing, you need three things. You need the tracks, you need the cars, and you need the fans. And they all have to be kind of in a balance. A track with lots of fans and no cars doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
A track that has fans and cars but no track doesn't go anywhere. Everything has to be held in a balance. And to have a successful operation, you really need to look on it that way and try and keep, it's a compromise to keep everything happy. So, the racers might want a lot, but you can't have high admissions, so you gotta balance things out. And in our area, we're lucky. We have a lot of tracks, a lot of well-run tracks that do really great things. And by and large, racing is pretty healthy in our area. And, in our area, go 3 hours out from where we are, even more maybe. And there's a lot of good tracks. There's a lot of good cars. There's a lot of good teams, car owners, drivers, fans, across the board. That doesn't say that, there isn't things that happen that are bad, and sometimes tracks may be scheduled against each other or have just things happen, and a lot of that's unavoidable because there's only so many dates available. If you're a track that's an hour from another track and you both race on the same night, sometimes you're going to race against each other. But as a whole, if you take out a couple of these isolated instances of things just not working out, everybody, all the stakeholders, fans, teams, and tracks, all need to be looking towards the important part, which is keeping people involved in racing.
Right.
Me as a track promoter, it's my job to keep getting new people involved, and I want them to come here on Friday and go somewhere on Saturday and maybe even go somewhere on Sunday and be gung-ho about racing. If other tracks in the area, for instance, go out of business and say there's only Bedford, well, most of these fans would lose interest in racing. If there's not a track near you, you might lose interest, get another hobby.
Right.
And really everybody just needs to keep that in mind, is that we're all for the pulling and for the greater good of keeping racing healthy.
Right.
And we all kind of lean on each other that way. Like, for instance, here at Bedford, we get, say, a lot of fans from, say, the Cumberland area, from the Hagerstown area, different directions. And we want those tracks to be healthy because we want them to keep making new fans that will eventually come up here and vice versa. There's a lot of fans that come to Bedford and maybe for their first time and say, wow, this is a lot of fun. Saturday, where can we go? And I think everybody understands that. I'm not saying anything people don't know.
Right.
If fans get older, and you need to keep generating new fans and new drivers, and everybody I think gets that. Now the execution sometimes is a little rickety, but in our area, I think we're really blessed to have a really solid racing infrastructure. You go to a lot of parts in the country, maybe there's 2 tracks within 5 hours of each other, and they wish they had what we have here in Pennsylvania.
Right.
So that being said, everybody when they go out to the track, just be supportive of everybody. If you see a driver that's having a tough time, help him out. If you see a track that looks like it's struggling, volunteer the promoter. If you see some fans that think that they're not having a good time, go up to them and say hi. Come out next week. The weather will be better. The track will be better. Because if we don't do that, then racing as a whole is eventually going to die out.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of really good points. The thing I like the most about Bedford is you do a lot for kids and fans. You always have $5 fan nights, or you always have a kids' night with a candy scramble, and I think that is really important to get people involved like that. I don't know if you see a lot of increase in fans those nights, but I know that from a driver's perspective, it's so much more fun on those nights.
Oh yeah, I feel like we're the biggest babysitter in Bedford County sometimes.
Sometimes, I'm sure.
That's by design. Kids get in for free. We try and do fun things with them.
Yeah.
And if you're a kid and we can drag you out here, and maybe you don't know anything about racing,
right?
But if you come out and you get hooked, well then mommy and dad are in trouble,
right? Because
now they have to come out, and then we've got the parents and we've got a future race fan that will hopefully be with us.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why it's important, like a lot of stuff you do, engaging the kids and doing fun stuff with fans. It's so important because you never know which kid is standing by the fence that maybe he's never been to a race before, who all it takes is like a wave or a give them a shirt or something, and now they're back.
Right.
So yeah, I love we do the kids candy night and the bike races and stuff, and that's so much fun. That's probably one of my favorite nights of the year.
Me too.
Is everybody's happy then.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Everybody's happy, but the design is, well, let's keep get these people engaged so they keep coming back.
Definitely. Yeah. And with that being said, do you want to talk about more of your schedule a little bit?
Well, it's it finally warmed up, which means it's finally race season. So we kick things here off at the first week of April. We have a practice session the week before. April 5th is opening day, and then on the following Sunday after opening day we have another practice session, and that's tied in with our car show over here, which we do with the Chamber of Commerce. And then pretty much it's hammered down for the rest of the summer. A lot of the fun things we've been doing in the past, we're still here. All the kids stuff. We do. I try and do a variety of everything. Stuff for the late model, stuff for the limited, stuff for the other divisions, sprint car stuff. Because you don't want it to be the same every week. Stale.
Right.
We have the All-Stars come April 15th on Sunday, which I always get a kick out of. And then we roll right into, next thing you know, it's May, June. We have the couple of big late model shows. And we try and back those up after the big late model shows with some big stuff for the other divisions, some big limited races, some big modified races, pure stock 4-cylinder stuff. And then the next thing you know, it'll be Labor Day. Labor Day 55. Everybody gets a pay raise this year at Labor Day, and then we finish it up with we'll do the Keystone Cup again at the end of September, which we did that for the first time last year, and it was a lot of new ideas, trying some different things, and we took things, that I thought really worked well, some things we needed to tweak, and then maybe add some things. And I think that'll be a lot of fun again. But basically, we get started 3 weeks from tonight, and it's hammer down for the rest of the summer.
Wow.
So hopefully the weather works out.
Yeah,
we can get to racing and race a lot.
Yeah.
We like to race here.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get to do that.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not a year like last year where everything seemed to get rained out.
Last
awful.
year, and it seems like really the last 2 years we've been kind of cursed on Friday nights, and maybe we're due for some dry weather and can get something moving.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully no more snow and only sunshine for the rest of the year.
I hope so. So I know talking about sponsors is important to drivers. Do you want to talk about the sponsors and the people that help you out?
Well, just like running a race car, you can't run a racetrack unless you have so many people helping you. We have obviously our great sponsors that are here every year. We've had some really long-time supporters and long-time people who don't necessarily have a billboard or something, but who are here, helping every week or donate some stuff, or if you need something borrowed. Our guys that are here, not just on Friday nights at the track, but through the week.
Right.
They're just fantastic because it takes so much. We're like everybody, we have great sponsors, but we're always looking for more.
Oh, absolutely. Always. So I know you do a lot throughout the week. This is your full-time job. What do you do, through the track? You do administrative, you work on the track the whole way throughout the summer, through the winter. What all do you do?
Well, somehow there's always something to do. There's always something that's broken. There's always something that needs fixed or something that we need to look forward to. Once we're done racing on Friday night, pretty much first thing Saturday morning, we're in here, me and the guys, grading the racetrack, getting the racetrack turned over for the next race. And then the next thing you know, there's equipment that needs fixed and put away and repaired and who knows what else. And so that'll be, Saturday, whatnot. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's working on the phone, paying bills, calling people, organizing things. Sometimes I'll get time to cut my grass on Monday or Tuesday if things work out. And then depending on how the weather is here at the track, if you have a week like we frequently did this summer, where it's raining a lot through the week, you might have to be up here every day, fixing something. If this place is very the rain really does havoc on this place because it's on the side of a hill. It's elevated, and you're constantly having to move dirt if you have a wet week. If you don't have a wet week, if you have a great week, if we race on Friday, then we're back here, Wednesday and Thursday, doing, watering, grading if we have to again, disking, watering, the whole thing. Until next thing you know, it's Thursday night at midnight, and you're done watering, and you get the time to go to bed just in time to be back here at 7:30 in the morning on Friday, and you get to go through it all again, and it's kind of fun if you want to work all the time.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I spend a lot of time either on the phone, sitting at my desk, or in the water truck, or in the grader, or who knows, cutting grass, fixing something. It's a lot of fun if you like to do different things and work hard.
Yeah, it sounds like you're busy.
Well, it's busy, but it's wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
Yeah.
So there's always something to do. We've been here pretty much any day that the weather wasn't bad. Through the winter and the spring, just trying to get ahead and get stuff the way it needs to be. And that's why I have a great crew of guys.
Yeah.
I work hard, but they work really hard. They fix the things I break. They're here to help me out and get things going. And you just can't do anything without the crew we have.
Yeah, definitely. When I had Lisa Plessinger's interview, we talked about how much it takes a team, to do a racetrack. I can't even, I thought it took a team to own a race car and work on a race car, but I can't even imagine owning a racetrack. I couldn't do it.
Well, there's nothing worth doing by yourself, and if you're racing or promoting or doing anything, you need to have a great group of people with you.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been blessed that a lot of the people that we have here have been here for 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
And they love it. Hopefully they love it because they keep coming back. Yeah. But it's just great to when things are going on to know that everybody's knowing what they're doing. They're picking up the slack. They're making the show. They're making things move on.
Yeah.
And boy, it makes it so easy.
I'm sure it does. Well, thank you again for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it. Fans, make sure you check out Bedford Speedway on all their social media links. I will make sure to post that following this interview. You can check out their website at bedfordspeedway.com. Make sure to bring a friend to the races this year and come see Bedford Speedway. So.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.